Hello, everyone. I'm 𝙥𝙗𝙪𝙣𝙩𝙪, founder and MD of Prerna Advisory here in South Africa.
Hi, I'm 𝙥𝙗𝙪𝙣𝙩𝙪, the founder of a leadership development platform, Corporate Diva, based out of India.
Corporate Diva and Prerna Advisory came together earlier this year to bring forth a leadership development collaboration across continents, across geographies and backgrounds. And on that basis, we decided to call it Unity in Diversity, a forward-thinking program that would actually bring Ubuntu philosophy into the mold. And we decided that leadership development in this VUCA environment actually needs to bring something that's human-centric and a little bit different. And I must say, in the build up to us launching the UID program, we've gotten such beautiful feedback from all of you potential participants and UID change makers. And as part of that process, you've also told us about some of the deep difficulties you're experiencing as well. Whether it's from time pressure, stress, overwhelm, these are all things that are affecting you at the moment. And on that basis, 𝙥𝙗 and I actually decided that it would be an intentional piece of listening, support, and caring that we would bring about. Because ultimately, potential UID change makers, we want this to be a relational sort of transaction with you, not just something that's going to be about leadership development as well. So bringing the Ubuntu philosophy into practice, we decided to take a conscious pause on what we were doing. And 𝙥𝙗, I know you're quite excited to explain what that is and what that's going to look like for our viewers. So tell us more about what that is.
Absolutely, Aarti. And thanks for explaining the entire ethos of the program. I honestly salute all the people who reached out to us with their vulnerabilities, with their feedbacks, with their suggestions, and needing support. So therefore, they asked for support. How could we deny it?
Exactly.
Leadership, as they say, also can mean the hustle bustle of life and managing just so many things around and all of that. But I think when you talk about conscious pause, it is a time to step back, take a breath, reflect upon what the current scenario is. And let's face it, no matter in varying degrees the impact, but we're all going through an era of a global pandemic. So the conscious pause was to let all those who really wanted to be a part of this program take a step back and reflect upon and manage their current times and recircle back as we push the date of the launch of the UID program to September. Now, in the interim, as Aarti mentioned, that we didn't want to just have this as a transactional leadership program. We're a lot to do with humane leadership. And for that, we assessed the need for healing.
Yes.
And therefore, together as a team, we've come forth and brought in experts from various dimensions who bring forth various perspectives and techniques for healing. Therefore, the healing practices are going to be something that would be really, really valuable at the time when you need it most. And of course, we connect for the UID program post the series of the Healing Touch to Leadership is over. Aarti, would you like to add something to that?
I think it's a fantastic initiative, 𝙥𝙗, that we're putting together. And, for all of our potential participants, it's going to be so conveniently accessible to you. We will flight it as YouTube videos, but it will be accessible on all your social media channels. So at your convenience, and when you've got the time and availability to actually download it, no pressure, go and make use of these resources. Because as 𝙥𝙗 said, we're all about healing and support at this stage, which is what I think everyone is needing at this point in time.
And as I said earlier, that we assess there is a need for healing. So we've curated the Healing Touch of Leadership. And as Aarti mentioned, that it's going to be available, free access to almost anybody across the globe. We've literally given out our intent to be partners in healing during tough times on an accessible platform and literally out to the universe. So go ahead, leverage what we are about to bring forth. And of course, after a few times, this too shall pass, and we will reunite real soon in the month of September for the UID Master Sessions.
Wonderful. Come and join us on that healing journey. We look forward to seeing you there.
Hi, my name is Gretchen Steitle. I'm the founder and president of Global Grassroots. We're an international NGO that works with women survivors of war in East Africa. We help those women design their own nonprofit or micro NGOs to solve the social problems that they feel are a priority in their own communities. One of the other things that we do as part of our program is a mindfulness-based leadership program and mind-body trauma healing. We feel that in order to be an effective change agent, we also need to be able to take care of our own well-being and ensure our resilience. And I'd like to be able to share a sample of the practices that we use in our work in this brief meditation today. Now, before we begin on that practice, I want to just mention briefly a little bit about our nervous system. We have the autonomic nervous system that has two branches. One is called the sympathetic branch, which is our stress response system. This is the part of our cells that allows us to have the adrenaline and the strength and energy to avoid danger when we feel alarmed, to fight or to flee. And that keeps us safe. The other side of our nervous system, the parasympathetic branch, is the side of our nervous system that helps us relax and recharge and know that we're no longer in danger. Now, when we've had a traumatic experience or a exposure to chronic stress, this nervous system that usually naturally works like a pendulum, helping us respond when needed and returning to homeostasis after there is no longer an alert, has trouble regulating itself again. And so we may have these moments where we respond in ways that aren't necessarily aligned with the situation around us. We may feel overly stressed and alert and hypervigilant. We might have trouble sleeping, have digestive issues. We may also feel overly exhausted and like we just can't get enough energy, like our batteries have run out of juice and can't charge. And so that lack of being able to regulate, often at an extreme, results in the kinds of symptoms that we identify as being part of post-traumatic stress syndrome. And so this particular practice that we share helps to stimulate the side of our nervous system that allows us to relax and recharge and restore ourselves. And over time, when practiced, it can help us move back into a place of self-regulation again, which then eliminates a lot of the symptoms of PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. And so I'd like to share this practice. It's safe, it's gentle, and it is hopefully for you going to be deeply relaxing. Now, I should say that usually this practice is taught one-on-one with a skilled practitioner. And if you want to continue to use the practice, I recommend that you reach out so that we can identify and connect you with a skilled practitioner to make sure that you're breathing correctly so that the practice will work for you the best way it can. But this is a chance for you to get a tiny taste of what it feels like. So the practice has a few parts. The first is movement. And we use different forms of movement, in particular Qigong, a Chinese form of movement and meditation and breathing, to allow our bodies to come back into contact with ourselves, shake off the outer layers of tension where we hold so much stress in the body, and to get more grounded again in ourselves. Often when we've had also a traumatic experience, we might have dissociated from our body and it might not feel as safe anymore to feel what we're feeling physically. And so these gentle practices help us improve our ability to connect with ourselves and feel safe. The next form of movement practices help us slow down and balance our breathing, bringing us into a place of deeper relaxation. And then after the movement sequence, we will go into a very special form of breathing. This is the essence of this practice. It is called coherent breathing. Coherent breathing is done usually at about a pace of 5 breaths per minute for most adults. If you are very tall, that might actually require a slightly slower pace of breathing. And of course, Children under the age of 10 usually will breathe closer to double this pace. So this is normally the pace that is most used with most adults. And that at 5 breaths per minute is 6 breaths in and 6 breaths out. It's a very gentle breath. We breathe in and out of our nose. We try not to overfill the lungs. And when we do, we notice, and you might try this right now. If you put a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly and you breathe in, you might notice that your belly, if you leave it soft, will go out as you breathe in, and it will come back in as you breathe out. So we don't want to suck breath in. We want to be relaxed when we do so. So I'll guide you as we go in the breathing practice. And the next and final piece of this is a form of meditation and a body scan that again helps us tune into how we're feeling and noticing our bodies. And so I want to share a little bit of this gentle practice. I'll be guiding you in the movement part and then guiding you through the breathing practice. I'll also use a musical track of a set of chimes that will help you more easily keep track of your breathing. Breath, Body, Mind is the work of 2 doctors of clinical psychiatry, Dr. Richard Brown and Dr. Patricia Gerbarg, based out of the United States. This is based on 40 years of their work in many different wisdom practices, meditation, and martial arts practices. They have studied them clinically, and they've combined the essence of these practices in the practice that is optimal for our health and well-being. And so breath, body, mind helps stimulate the parasympathetic or rest and relaxation side of the nervous system. It also helps bring our respiratory system, our nervous system, and our circulatory system into a state of resonance. And so in that place, we have optimal heart rate variability, which is a marker of health and resilience. And we are able to reach particular states of brain waves that allow us to be in deep relaxation, but with alert clarity of mind. So it is not only helping us calm ourselves, but it gives us clearer focus. So it benefits us on both sides. And so if you want to learn more about this practice after you've had a chance to get a taste, I recommend you go to their website, breath-body-mind.com, where you can learn, where you can experience their longer workshops, and where you can learn to become trained in this method to share with others. Global Grassroots has been using this with survivors of war and genocide and sexual violence in Rwanda and in northern Uganda. We've also used it with earthquake victims in Haiti. And the practice now has been utilized and studied in so many different corners of the world, including with Hurricane Katrina survivors in the US, survivors of the oil spill off in the Gulf Coast, with survivors of and first responders to the 9/11 World Trade Center terrorist attacks. It has been used to support formerly enslaved people of South Sudan, to be working with young women who had been kidnapped in northern Nigeria by Boko Haram, and with refugees and those fleeing from Myanmar into Bangladesh. It has also been utilized with combat veterans and with young children and people across the board who have been experiencing all manner of stress and tragedy and trauma that has affected their bodies. It's very complementary as well with any other form of treatment that you're going through to treat your well-being. And for those that may not have any issues with trauma, it is simply a beautiful, safe, and relaxing practice. So now that I've had a chance to introduce it, let's get started. You ideally will want to be wearing some comfortable clothing, and we're going to start by standing up. The first movement practice that I'm going to share is one of the 4 golden wheels in Qigong, and we like to call it shake. Now you'll stand with your feet about hip width apart, and you're going to have all of the movement come from your knees. Your arms are going to hang loose like ropes, and make sure your face and your jaw are also loose and that you are still breathing. And we're going to start bouncing with our legs. And so without moving your arms intentionally, we're just going to allow ourselves to shake off this outer layer of tension in the body that we may not even be aware that we're holding from our stress. Now, if you feel balanced and you want to close your eyes or look downward at the floor, you're welcome to do so. It helps you bring your awareness inside so that you're not distracted by what's happening around you. And just listen to my voice as you allow your legs to bounce you and move you. Allowing those arms to dangle. Allowing your head to bob softly. And now, imagine that there is a waterfall of golden light that's washing over you, washing off all of the stress and tension and letting it flow downward and into the earth. And feel like you're the rocks under this river or waterfall, that you are just being washed and cleansed. Now let's pause and just notice how your body feels. Notice your thoughts. In this work, the pauses are just as important as the movement in helping us go within and connect with our bodies. Now I'm going to do a practice that will guide us in slowing down and balancing our breath. Let me demonstrate it first, and then I'll guide you. I'm going to be using my hands to help us focus on our breathing. We're going to be breathing in as my hands go up and breathing out as my hands go down. We're going to do this in a pattern of breathing in for 4 counts, holding our breath for 4 counts, and then breathing out for 6 counts, followed by holding it for 2. By having a slower exhale, we begin to signal to the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system that we are calming down, that we want to be relaxing. So it's very helpful. So beginning with our 4 in, 4 holding, 6 out, 2 holding. Ready? Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold for 2. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold for 2. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold for 2. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold for 2. One more, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold for 2. Pause again. Notice how your body feels. And notice your thoughts. Okay. Now we will practice coherent breathing. You may sit in a chair. It's the best way to start this practice. Sit in a way that feels comfortable. You put your feet flat on the ground ideally, and your hands can just rest softly in your lap. We want to try to stay still during this practice because any movement starts to activate us again. So as long as you feel relaxed and can be awake during the practice, we are going to be breathing in and out of our nose if you can. If you cannot, there are some alterations where we just purse our lips, but best is to be breathing in and out of your nose if you don't have any congestion. And so before we begin, let's just take two deep breaths, relaxing and cleansing breaths. Breathe in and let it out with a sigh. That's good. Do one more time. Excellent. And now I'm going to invite you, if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes, to do so, or to gaze softly downward. And let's start by softening the area around our eyes and our eyebrows. And now soften the areas by your cheeks and your jaw and your mouth. Soften your neck and shoulders. Soften your arms. Soften the muscles down your back, along your spine. Soften the muscles across your chest and belly. Soften your upper legs. Soften your lower legs. And soften your feet. And now I'm going to begin by guiding you, by counting your breath. And then in a moment, I'm going to switch to a musical track that will help you keep track on your own. So we'll be breathing in 4 counts in and 4 counts out. Beginning now. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Very gentle. 2, 3, 4. No need to overfill your lungs. 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, make sure your belly is moving out as you breathe in. Breathing out, your belly softens. 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to start a track of chimes as you're breathing. Notice that chimes go up and down. So we breathe in as the chimes go up. And breathe out as the chimes go down. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now you can allow your breathing to return to its normal rhythm. Notice how your body feels. Notice your mind. And now let's take 2 deep, relaxing breaths. And now I invite you to see if you can feel certain parts of your body as we complete a body scan. Start with the bottoms of your feet. Notice if you can feel with all of your attention the bottoms of your feet. And bring your attention to the space between your toes. And can you feel the backs of your knees? Can you feel the space between your hips? Can you feel the base of your spine? Can you feel the space within your belly? Can you feel the area around your heart? Can you bring attention to the area around your throat? Can you feel the tip of your nose? Can you feel the space between your eyebrows? Can you feel the palms of your hands? Can you feel the insides of your elbows? And can you feel the point in the very top of your head? Notice your body and notice your thoughts. And from this place of connection to yourself and your deeper wisdom, you may ask yourself a question such as, what do I need for my well-being? And when you feel ready, you may open your eyes, and I invite you to journal any wisdom that has come to you from this meditation.